North Korea fired 2 ballistic missiles into the sea off its east coast. As for South Korea's military, the launch took place hours after a U.S. nuclear-powered submarine entered a naval base in South Korea's island of Jeju to load military supplies. Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida condemned the launch by North Korea, which fell outside its exclusive economic zone. The launches come amid heightened tensions on the Korean peninsula as South Korea and the United States take steps to increase their military readiness against North Korea's weapons program. China and Russia wrapped up military exercise in the Sea of Japan. According to Chinese state media, the exercise aimed at safeguarding the security of waterways. More than 10 warships and over 30 warplanes from both the sides took part in the 4-day exercise. Chinese state broadcaster carried footage of Chinese and Russian warships taking part in the firing drills at the sea. The show of solidarity between the militaries comes at a time when the United States is increasing its ties with Japan and South Korea. North and South Korea set to mark the 70th anniversary of a cease during the 1950-1953 Korean War on Thursday. North Korea calls July 27th and 1953. That was when the armistice was signed. Its day of victory in the Great Fatherland Liberation War and blames U.S. military presence in the South. U.S.-South Korea joint military exercises have become more frequent in recent months, which in the North has been critical of, and in turn increased weapons tests amid escalating tensions. Isolated North Korea is under international sanctions over its nuclear weapons and ballistic missile programs. Spain's Conservative People's Party has started talks with other parties to seek their support to lead a new government. The main parties are now seeking support to form the new government as elections ended in a stalemate. The PP earned 136 seats, falling well short of the 176 needed for a majority. As a result, Spain's Prime Minister and the leader of ruling Socialist Party, Pedro Sanchez, insists that he can form a new government and that a repeat ballot will be avoided. This even after his ruling coalition was narrowly beaten by the opposition Conservative People's Party. The United States government has sued Texas Governor Greg Abbott over a floating barrier installed across the Rio Grande River. This barrier is a part of the Republican Party's tactics to prevent migrants from crossing the natural border into the United States of America. The barrier are made out of bright orange buoys which float on the water. Currently, the barrier is roughly 1,000 feet in length. The U.S. Justice Department has asked a federal judge in Austin to order Texas to remove the floating barriers. The DOJ lawsuit also claims that Texas installed the barrier illegally without prior permission from Mexico. White House has urged Russia to stop attacking Ukraine's grain supplies and rejoin the Black Sea Grain Initiative. Recently, Russia accused Ukraine of launching a drone attack on Moscow. The targets included the Defense Ministry's headquarters and an office building in southern Moscow. In response, Russian forces struck port infrastructure of the Danube River in Ukraine, causing disruption in grain exports. These attacks come after Russia cancelled a grain deal, leading to market anxiety and increased wheat prices. The situation also raises concerns about the impact on global food supplies and transportation costs around the world.
Russia is doing.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken commended the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe for its resilience despite obstructionism from Russia. Speaking alongside OSCE Secretary General Helga Schmid, Blinken lauded the crucial role played by the organization to continue its work and mission despite challenges posed by Russia. Russia has accused the OSCE of handing information on the location of Russian forces to the Western and the Ukrainian intelligence. The OSCE is an international organization that includes former Cold War foes, the United States and Russia, and various countries in Europe, Central Asia, and North America. Israel's parliament has passed the first bill of the controversial judicial reforms that are being pushed by Netanyahu's administration. It's called the Reasonableness Bill, and it strips the Supreme Court of the power to declare government decisions unreasonable. Mass demonstrations erupted with renewed anger in Israel after the lawmakers ratified the first bill. The police used water cannon to push back the demonstrations and the demonstrators, and several people were dragged away by the officers. The bill was passed on Monday by a vote of 64-0, with all members of the governing coalition voting for the bill. Hundreds of people gathered in Baghdad's Al-Sadr city to protest against recent incidents of disrespect to the Quran in Denmark and Sweden. The demonstrators did self-flagellation acts, which is a Shia religious ritual to express anger and grief. The protest came days after people angered by the desecration of the Islamic holy book in Sweden stormed the Swedish embassy in Baghdad. The Iraqi government has cut diplomatic ties with Sweden in protest over these incidents. As per the reports, an ultra-nationalist group last week burnt a copy of the Quran in front of the Iraqi embassy in Copenhagen. TikTok chief launches her first restaurant in Los Angeles after she became a social media sensation as a home cook. Known on social media as Tweda Bay, she first started posting mukbangs or videos in which people live streamed themselves eating. But it was cooking videos that made her genuinely popular on platforms like TikTok. With over 1 million followers across TikTok and Instagram, she got in touch with investors and has opened her own restaurant in Los Angeles, one of the most competitive food markets in the world.
Greens and whites, we don't.
Kiyoshi Hashimoto, an 82-year-old entrepreneur in Tokyo, runs a machine factory he founded 40 years ago. He has not found a successor or buyer for his business, and Japan's aging population is making it hard for many small businesses to survive in the country. According to a government report, around 1.27 million small business owners will be 70 or older by 2025 and have no one to take over their business. This trend could lead to the loss of up to 6.5 million jobs in the country. Hashimoto's factory, which used to employ many people, now only has 2 part-time workers. According to the experts, this problem is so significant that Japan is facing an era of mass closures. US President Joe Biden will designate a national monument at 3 sites in honor of Emmett Till and his mother. Emmett Till, at the age of 14, was lynched for allegedly whistling at a white woman in 1955. Till's mother held an open casket funeral so people could see her son's mangled body, a decision that helped kick off the civil rights movement. Biden is slated to sign a proclamation in honor of Till's 82nd birthday. The Emmett Till and Mamie Till National Monument will be featured in Chicago and Mississippi. Greece is experiencing a devastating wildfire crisis that has swept across the nation, causing chaos and destruction. Some 30,000 people were forced to leave homes and hotels on roads over the weekend. Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis has declared that Greece is at a war with the wildfires. Mitsotakis held out the prediction that this mayhem will continue for the next 3 days. One of Greece's top tourist destinations is battling fierce wildfires. Over 2,500 tourists visiting this popular island have been evacuated. Planes are dropping water bombs to douse the raging fire on the island. Wildfires raging across Algeria have killed at least 25 people, including 10 soldiers trying to bring the blaze under control in the face of high winds and scorching summer. Temperatures, as per the Interior Ministry, at least 1,500 people were evacuated. The wildfires, some spread by strong winds, moved across forests and agricultural areas in 16 regions, causing 97 fires in the North African country. Fires rage again in a Tunisian pine forest near the border with Algeria after another blaze in the area last week. According to the National Guard, flames were fanned by winds and the temperatures which neared 50 degrees Celsius. At least 300 people were evacuated from the nearby village of Muliola. As per the officials, during last week's inferno, more than 1,000 acres of forest had been burned. A sudden heavy storm hit central Berlin with torrential rain and strong winds, tearing down trees and branches and wreaking havoc on dining terraces. According to local media, the strong winds took out traffic lights and hampered local overground city train services. Berlin Fire Service on Twitter declared an exceptional situation for the evening. Colombian President Gustavo Petro visited the site of a landslide in Quetem, which killed at least 22 people. The landslide destroyed homes and a crucial highway which links the south of Colombia to the capital, Bogota. Petro met with locals affected by the disaster and said that short-term emergency help would be given in the form of emergency packages. The government would look to relocate families and support them to continue their agricultural work. Apple, the global tech juggernaut, is facing a legal challenge in the United Kingdom. A staggering $1 billion classic action lawsuit has been brought against the company by over 1,500 app developers, all of whom are taking aim at Apple's controversial App Store fees. At the heart of this legal battle is the commission structure that Apple imposes on certain app makers, ranging from 15% to 30% for the use of its in-app payment system. The lawsuit argues that Apple's charges are not only excessive, but are also facilitated by the company's virtual monopoly over app distribution on iPhones and iPads. Breaking new ground and reinforcing its commitment to sustainability, Canada has made history by becoming the first G20 country to take bold action in eliminating inefficient fossil fuel subsidies. Unveiling a comprehensive framework, the nation takes a pioneering step forward, aligning itself with a commitment made over a decade ago to rationalize and phase out government support for the fossil fuel sector. While hailed as a significant stride towards a greener future, the framework has sparked discussions over its approach towards certain oil and gas projects. By permitting government support for projects employing technologies like carbon capture and storage to reduce emissions, questions arise about the extent of actual decarbonization achieved by the country. The Indian government has taken a compassionate stand on the process of loan repayment. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, during a session in the Lok Sabha, addressed concerns over harsh loan recovery methods employed by some banks. She emphasized that both public and private banks must handle loan repayment case with humanity and sensitivity. The move comes in the wake of complaints received about the merciless pursuit of loan repayments by certain banks, prompting the government to intervene and protect small borrowers.